What's going on, everyone, and welcome back to Comic Breakdown. If you guys are new to the channel, do me a favor and hit that sub button, hit that notification bell, make sure you're not missing any of the awesome content we have coming out. Now with this video, we're jumping into Superman, Son of Kal-El, issue number 3. And if you haven't been keeping up with this line, go ahead, check out the link in my description as well as the top of this video. It will get you completely caught up on everything going on in this line. And this issue is really going to be talking about how Superman is leaving. Superman is taking off to Warworld. And we've seen this transpire in the Action Comics line. And we're going to talk more about that as we get towards the end of the video. We're going to talk about that, we're going to talk about the Authority, and how all of this is connecting together. But with that being said, let's dive into this breakdown. Alright guys, so as we pick up with this issue, we're picking up at Coast City. And right now, they are having a building coming down. With this building falling, we see Superman and we see John. We see Superboy come flying in. They come in to save the day, with Superman grabbing the building. With him bracing it up, we see Superboy go inside and he rescues as many people as he can. Not only that, he rescues all of their pets as well. And with everybody being saved, we see Superman let go of the building. Now this is just showing us a little bit of how his power has been dampening ever since that dimensional hole opened up. Ever since Superman got injured in that day, his powers have slowly been depleting. Now the Justice League lets them know that this was some kind of hyper-localized seismic event. And as they look around to find some kind of source on how this happened, this is where they see Fault Line. And with Fault Line being dazed and confused, not understanding what is going on, where she is, Superman goes to grab her to try to help her out. But with her being dazed, confused, and on guard, she grabs Superman and throws him into the ground. And of course, Superboy, he's ready to get after her, but she immediately apologizes. She doesn't know what she's doing, she doesn't know where she is. She may look like she's dressed like a supervillain, but at the end of the day, she has no idea what is going on. And with her afraid to take any kind of step, her afraid to move at all, in fear that it will cause another earthquake, we see Superman and Superboy lift her up off the ground. With her density being incredibly high, we see them take her to Star Labs. And they put her inside of the weightless chamber so they can examine her and maybe be able to help her out, to try to figure out how to turn her powers off and on. But Superman and Superboy, they have to wonder how she ended up in Coast City. How it is possible that there was no line of wreckage anywhere else. It's almost as if someone dropped her directly on that location, as if she was a planted bomb just waiting to go off. But in the midst of this conversation, Superboy gets a phone call. And this phone call is coming from Jay, the young independent reporter for The Truth. And it really seems like they're trying to create a Superman and Jimmy Olsen between the two of them. At least by all appearances, that's what it's looking like. But Jay has gave him a phone call because right now there's some demonstrations going on. There's some protests happening. But with these people gathering, the police have also shown up. The police letting them know that this is an illegal protest, that they have no permit to do so, and so they must vacate the area. And things are starting to get a little hostile for both sides. And with Superboy going up to the police officers, he lets them know that he is also joining in on this protest. And so if these police officers are going to arrest everyone else here, they're gonna also have to arrest Superboy. And of course, the police at first are a little hesitant to do this. They're a little hesitant to throw those cuffs onto Superboy, just simply because of who he is and who his father is. But Superboy knows full well exactly what he's getting himself into. That if these people must be arrested today, he is going to be arrested along with them. If they are going to arrest people for standing up for what they believe in, then he will gladly wear those cuffs today. And so with Superboy now in cuffs and him being escorted to a police vehicle, the reporters ask him why. Why did you do this? What are you hoping to achieve by doing all of this? And his answer is simple, that Superman, he was a refugee. His grandparents put him into a ship, sent him on a dangerous voyage. His father crossed over oceans of stars. And he found himself in a new home, in a new world, on a new land. And that just so happened to be America. This is where he found sanctuary. And that's all he wants for the Gamoran refugees. He wants them to be able to have some kind of safe haven. He wants them to have that sanctuary, the same luxury his father was bestowed. And while President Bendix, he proclaims that they are not refugees, that they are fleeing a paradise, and they're nothing but bad people. And that's simply not the case. And he only asks that people question this, that they ask the president to look into it more, to give us more evidence, more proof that what you're claiming is actually the case. Prove to the people what you say is true. Prove that these people are actually fleeing a paradise and not some third world disastrous tyrannical government. But that's what takes us to a little bit later. With Jonathan sitting here inside of a jail cell, we have Superman coming to pick him up. Now Superman picking him up, Jonathan, he's a little hesitant. He doesn't want to leave specifically because he's worried people are going to judge if he's the only one being released. But Superman has made it to where all the individuals that were protesting peacefully, that they can go free. And with him getting out of jail, he is met up by Jay. Now Jay had come to bail him out, Superman already beating him to the punch. But because Jay was going to do this nice gesture, being a friend of Jonathan, Superman invites him to dinner. And so we see them take off. Picking up Jay, they fly into the sky and they head to the old Kent farm. And this is where Jay gets introduced to his hero, to his icon, Lois Lane. You know, knowing Superboy, knowing Superman, that's super awesome, and it's one of the greatest things in the world. But to him, Lois Lane is one of the most influential individuals that he has ever heard about. Because of everything she has done, having no superpowers, having no super abilities, just being one of the best investigative journalists the world has ever seen. The criminal organizations she has taken down, the bad people that she has put away. She is a living, breathing legend to Jay. So much so that it makes him panic. He doesn't know what to do. He had no idea he would be meeting Lois Lane today. He didn't even think about it being Jonathan's mother. And so he needs to take a breather. He takes a step back. Him and Jonathan just have a quick conversation, because at the end of the day, he's a journalist. That's all he's ever wanted to do. That's all he's ever wanted to be. Even growing up, he had a poster of Lois Lane inside of his bedroom, hanging above his bed. Of course, not in a creepy way, just in a way that he admired her in such a great way. And so with him gathering himself, gathering all of his thoughts, they go ahead and they go inside, getting ready for dinner. Everyone looks completely down. They look completely sad, because this is the moment. This is the moment that Superman has to leave. Jonathan dreading this moment, dreading the day this would come, because he knew all along this was going to happen. In Earth's history that he read when he was in the future, Superman leaves and he never returns. And so the two of them, they have a conversation, a last father-son talk before he heads off to Warworld. And Superman wants him to promise that he's not going to come looking for him. If the day ever comes that Superman doesn't return, that Jonathan needs to stay here and protect Earth. Now, of course, that's something that John, he can't promise that. And if the roles were reversed, Superman couldn't promise that either. And Jonathan, he can't help but bring up the fact that he's been to the future. He knows what happens. And the same thing that he's been telling him this whole time, the same thing Superman's been saying to him, that there is no set future. There is no destiny or fate or anything of that matter. If there was, we would have all died 10 times over by now. The simple fact of the matter is we make our own destiny. We create our own fate. The future can never be set. And as long as you have faith as me as your father, that I will return to you, I will do as I say, then you have absolutely nothing to worry about. That you just need to have faith in my word. And with Superman having to take off, with Jonathan not wanting to watch his father leave, he tells him that there are people out there that need me. And right now, Earth needs a Superman. And Jonathan has to be that Superman. Because while Clark Kent, while he may be the man of tomorrow, Jonathan is for every day after that. And so we see them say goodbye. We see them embrace one another, and they head back to the Kent farm, with Clark Kent going ahead and grabbing a hold of his wife. Him and Lois, they both take off. And we see in Action Comics a little bit of this going over. There's quite a bit of crossover happening here. But this is the last time that Jonathan will see his father. Him believing it's possibly the last time ever he will see his father. And with him going off and flying with Lois Lane, they have the last moments together. He meets up with the Authority and he takes off. But that's what's going to take us to a little bit later on. Picking up on Earth's orbit, we are sitting on Gamora, and President Bendix is about to enact his revenge. He's finally gonna make Superboy and Superman pay, a way for him to be able to shut up Superboy, especially with everything that just happened with him getting arrested and calling out the president. He's going to make him pay for that, and he's going to do that by dropping someone on top of him. And this is where we see him tell them to drop him, to drop Fault Line. And we see Fault Line dropping out of the sky. As she falls and falls, she comes crashing down on top of the Kent farm, completely unaware, unknowing of what is about to happen to them. We see a giant detonation, and with her making impact on the ground, it is absolutely devastation. And that will be the end of this issue. So let me know what you guys think down in the comments. You know, obviously, there's definitely some inconsistencies between this run, between Action Comics, and between the Authority. And that's mostly to do with Superman's power set. His powers have been all over the place when it comes to these three comics. Because we see in the Authority that he's got almost no power whatsoever. He can barely fly. He's using the Supermobile for most of his efforts, for most of his combating, most of his travel, so on and so forth. But when we look at Action Comics, when we looked at the son of Kal-El, we're seeing him be able to fly. We're seeing him be able to hold buildings. We're seeing a much older version in the Authority. Now, Grant Morrison, he said that all of these connect together, that they all impact one another, that the events of the Authority directly impact Action Comics and Son of Kal-El. So we know these are all intertwined together. We see him take off with the Authority in Action Comics. And so while there's definitely some plot holes, there's some inconsistencies, the story overall I am enjoying. The idea of Superman go ahead and flying off to Warworld to try to save some individuals that were once Kryptonians, once splitting off from the original Kryptonian planet and doing their own thing. And with them being in dire straits, with them needing assistance, who else is going to help them? Who else is going to come to their rescue but Superman himself? And it's finally giving Jonathan Kent the opportunity to take the mantle, to step up to the plate and see what he is made of. Now, the running theory by all of Batman's tests, it appears that Jonathan is going to be stronger than any of them, with him being both human and Kryptonian. Batman is predicting that Jonathan is going to be stronger than Superman ever could be. But yeah, let me know what you guys think down in the comments. If you have not yet, do me a favor, hit that sub button, hit that notification bell, make sure you're not missing any of the awesome content we have coming out, and until the next breakdown.